Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Okay, now, that Q&A reboot thing, that was a big fucking mistake, it really was. Here was me thinking, oh, I'll just do a Q&A reboot and I'll get people to write the comments, it'll save me going into the inbox, it'll be great, but I got over 350 comments here and I can't possibly read them all in one, in one fell swoop of a video, so what I've done here is that I have chosen 10 of the most interesting questions, or, the ones I just want to answer. I've written them down and I'm going to answer those. This way we will avoid, questions getting answered multiple times, and also the Q&A will actually be entertaining because I'm only going to pick questions I want to answer. Yeah, so with that said, for the next Q&A, post your comments here and I will pick the 10 best comments and I will answer those again. Okay. I'll probably increase that number as well from 10 to something else, but for now we just have 10. So anyway, let's get into this, shall we? Mr. Zan3, why do you hate Final Fantasy on PS2/Square? Okay. I don't hate Final Fantasy. I think I've answered this before, but I don't know. I saw the comment and I just wanted to rant about it, I really don't hate Final Fantasy, I honestly don't. It's just that there are a handful of games in the series that I do actually really not enjoy. Particularly 10 and 13, those games. I got halfway through 10, I don't know, I didn't like it. I played 13 for about 6 hours and I hated that as well. But there are a few games that I actually really do like in the Final Fantasy series, I really like 7 and 9. To be honest, I think those are the only ones I really like. I played 4, and I did enjoy that, but it didn't leave that big of an impression on me. And I do want to play 6, I've always wanted to try that one out. And as for Square Enix as a company, in terms of RPGs, they've really not released anything good at all in the past few years, Save for The World Ends With You, maybe a few Kingdom Hearts games and Final Fantasy spin-offs, but yeah. Either way, I don't hate Final Fantasy, I really don't, just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay. Now here's one from One Evil P Brain 1. What do you think of the next Sonic the Hedgehog game? I'm pretty sure he posted this comment before the teaser trailer was announced for Sonic Generations, but a lot of people have asked that, so I'll take a minute here to talk about Sonic Generations. Guys, I got teary-eyed watching that trailer. I mean, that's not happened to me since Sonic 06, before that game came out and I thought, oh my god, next gen Sonic, this is going to be the best thing ever. But then it came out and I was mega disappointed. When Sonic 06 came out, I kind of vowed never to get, excited for a Sonic game ever again. But after seeing the Sonic Generations trailer, the gameplay trailer, not the teaser had kind of a different effect on me, but the gameplay trailer, oh, it was amazing, The modern Sonic gameplay looks really good. It'll be just the same as Unleashed in colours, which, is going to be good. And the classic Sonic gameplay, I can't see them mucking that up too much. That's going to be hard to do, I think. But we'll see when it comes out. But either way, I think for the first time in 5 years, I am relatively confident that this is going to be a really good Sonic game. Even with Sonic Colors, before it came out, I was really skeptical. But that turned out to be really good, So, yeah. Should be pretty good. Right. Sonic King 08. This is kind of a sub-question to the one that was already answered. Who's your favourite Sonic, classic or modern? In all honesty, I like modern Sonic more than classic Sonic. Visually speaking, right? A lot of people like to say that modern Sonic associates with all the bad 3D Sonic games and that's why they hate it, but I think that's kind of a biased way of putting it, to be honest. Visually speaking, in terms of design, I think modern Sonic is better, Even back when I first played Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, I remember saying to myself, they've changed Sonic a little bit from, that short, stumpy look that he had. And then gradually he's evolved into the modern Sonic we've got today. And I honestly like that design more, sort of big feet, big hands. Not too tall, I guess, but you get where I'm coming from. Cyber the Wolf, would you get the Dreamcast Collection? I think I've ranted about this before as well, but I love ranting about this. The Dreamcast Collection is shit. So shit. Sega, you have to re-release a Volume 2, okay? For the PS3 or something. And I say PS3 because you can fit more games onto the Blu-ray, because if you can really only put 4 games on an Xbox 360 DVD. In fact, I don't see why they won't, because the Dreamcast Collection was 360 exclusive, and that makes no sense considering that the games that were on there were already downloadable for PSN, so it can run on PS3, so I just don't get why they're not releasing it for PS3. So Sega, if you are like, you know, waiting for the PS3 release, you better be preparing some more games for that, and particularly Skies of Arcadia, Shenmue, Jet Set Radio. I don't really need to say much more, just get those games on there. Just get those games on there. Okay. List your, this is from PokeGuru23, list your top 5 hated video game characters and explain why. Okay, I thought this would be funny because I actually prepared it. I've only got 4 here, well, technically it's 5, but these aren't my most hated, I wouldn't say. These are just characters I do dislike, and once again, I just want to rant about them, so yeah. The first one is Edge from Star Ocean 4. Edge was like a really stereotypical Japanese RPG hero who would never give up, and everybody followed him and loved him, and he was always like really sad when he did something bad. But yeah, that was annoying enough, but Edge had the single most terrible emo moment I have ever seen in a video game, you know. I'm sure anyone who's played Star Ocean knows exactly the emo moment I'm referring to, you know. It was just so... Jesus. It was terrible, terrible. I wanted to stop playing as him so bad. It was annoying as hell. But yeah, also Silver the Hedgehog. It's funny, you actually specified in your question, explain why you hate them, but do I really have to explain for Silver? Okay. Third one is Ashley Williams. A lot of people like to go for Ashley Williams because she's annoying, and I'll admit I'm sort of jumping on the bandwagon here, but yeah, Ashley Williams was pretty fucking annoying in Mass Effect 1. I was really happy in Mass Effect 2 when she like dinghied Shepard, even though I did go for Ashley Williams, you know, the romance scene when I first played it. I feel like a fool for that now. But thankfully she got replaced by Miranda. What was Miranda's second name? Can't remember. But yeah, she got replaced by Miranda, who was only a little bit less annoying, but a million times more hot, so that was a good thing. And these last 2 characters actually count as one, because they're basically the same thing. Colette from Tales of Symphonia and Estellise from Tales of Vesperia. These 2 characters are just so alike, you know, they are... How do I put this? They are the... I don't know how to put this, you know, they're both just so fucking pure and happy and will die for you and are so in love with the main character. I don't know, I just find that really annoying, I'm sorry. One of them literally is a fucking angel, for God's sake. And their hair is so yellow or pink and, I don't know, those characters, those like sunshine, they're too much of a sunshine, you know, those characters annoy me, sorry. Anyway. This feels good, by the way. JJMan015. What are your thoughts on Capcom not releasing Ace Attorney Investigations 2 overseas? Yeah, I'm really pissed by that, as a lot of you can probably guess. For those of you that don't know, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 is the latest entry in the Ace Attorney series, you know, that Phoenix Wright is a part of and all that. I actually really liked the first Ace Attorney Investigations game, you know, it was really fun playing as Miles Edgeworth and all that. And the fact that they're not releasing the second one, you know, is just a middle finger to fans, you know. And Capcom's been doing that a lot recently, you know, they, what with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you know, charging $5 per character and all that. Yeah, Capcom need to do something. They cancelled Mega Man Universe as well. Yeah, I think that. So yeah, Capcom has been doing a lot of shite recently, in my opinion, and this is the one that annoys me the most, without a doubt. I'm sure there'll be a fan translation or something, but either way, you want to play the original release, don't you? But at least Capcom won't get my money. Here's one from Devmon52. I'm sorry if I keep mispronouncing these. What are your impressions on Folklore? I'm pretty sure I got a question about this months ago, but it's just, again, it's something I like to talk about. Folklore was like, it's funny, the PS3 has quite a few, you know, very underrated exclusives that don't really get talked about that much, you know, and Folklore was kind of the first one. I remember it came out at like the end of 2007. At the end of 2007, there really wasn't much to play on PS3, you know. I remember I was enjoying the hell out of Ratchet and Clank at the time, and I got Uncharted, which I thought was kind of eck at the time, but overall it is a good game, I will admit. But yeah, Folklore. Folklore was a real under-the-radar title, and it was just so... It was a really beautiful game. If you guys get the chance, definitely pick up Folklore. Especially if you're a fan of, like, you know, adventure games. It's kind of an adventure game, it's definitely got that sort of style to it. But it's also kind of a hack and slasher as well, which is really good. Great music, great story, really great story, actually. Yeah, definitely worth trying out, Folklore. One of my favourite PS3 games. What are your views on the Persona games? This is from TieDie75. Persona is awesome. I played Persona 4 for like 60 hours. And then I stopped playing it because I got to this boss that was really, really hard, and I leveled up like 10 levels and I still couldn't beat him, and I was like... Argh. Yeah, if you're gonna play Persona 4, people, play on beginner. You get 3 difficulty options at the beginning, which is like beginner, moderate, and like hard or something. Play it on beginner. Take my advice on that. It's a very, very hard game. I want to get around to playing the other Persona games. I've actually got Persona 3 in the cupboard there, but I kind of want to beat Persona 4. But to do that, I'm going to have to start from the beginning again, and it's going to be... this is going to be... It's going to be another 60 hours and shit. So, yeah, whatever. Okay, next question is the second last one. What is your game of the year so far for 2011? This is from Alabzam. Yeah. A real close one, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you think it would be, is Yakuza 4, which, at first when I was playing Yakuza 4, I didn't think it was as good as Yakuza 3, but now that I've had a chance to, you know, think about it, I do think it is better. You know, there's a lot more epic moments in that game, and the other... You know, the 4 different playable characters really add that depth that the combat needed. But it's not my game of the year. My game of the year has to be Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective for the DS, which was kind of the next game from the Ace Attorney team, you know. Shu Takumi is his name. He's the guy that designs the games. And it was just a superb game, you know, a really good adventure game. It was like, if you like Phoenix Wright, but... you kind of wish there was a bit more gameplay to it, obviously. Definitely go for Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. It's just absolutely superb, seriously. And last question here from Razor Bonzor. This was another popular question, actually. Any thoughts on the PlayStation Network being down? Yeah, that was like a... Obviously, I don't think it was Sony's fault, because no company wishes for their network to go down, you know, but at the same time, Sony did really do a dick move by not showing us, well, not telling us, really, that our credit card information might have been compromised. I was kind of lucky, because I did have my credit card details on PS3, but the card was actually up for expire, like, the very next day that Sony announced that information, so... I was pretty much safe there, and my new credit card details aren't on it right now, and I probably will put them on because Sony is like beefing up the security, and I'm confident they will. But yeah, as for the people that think, you know, it was Sony's fault and all that, I gotta say, this is just me, and maybe I'm exaggerating this, but I kinda just want to say this anyway. This wasn't exactly like, I believe it was anonymous, was it? Probably, anyway. This wasn't exactly like, actually, on second thought, I don't want to give my thoughts on this. But yeah, it was kind of like it's a big deal, you know. It wasn't like that guy a few months ago who cracked the firmware on PS3. You know, that was just one guy. You know, something like this was a much bigger operation. You know, it must have taken like quite an experienced team, you know, to pull off such a job. I don't know. I'm not like a security engineer or whatever the fuck it is. I'm just saying that's me. But either way, I hope it gets back online soon, because I'm really wanting to play Virtua Tennis online. I'm wanting to play... Me and a friend are going to play through Portal 2 cooperatively. I can't wait. It'll be... Yeah, it can't happen soon enough, I suppose. But yeah. Yeah, that's those questions, guys. Again, you know, post your comments and I will choose the best questions next time. So yeah, see you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.